to my... What about that, JT? I cried so much and realized. Hey, so those of you who are having lunch right now, I know the other live just kind of went out, but let's have I'm gonna stroll a little slow on this one. And somehow the other live just kind of went out. I guess I was going in too hard on a particular subject and it just went out on me. So let's go ahead and have some lunch, y'all. I don't have to continue that one because whoever's upset might get upset again. So I'm gonna get to the topic that it was originally for that other one. I just changed the title of it because y'all know how I veer off when I'm talking. I get into one topic before I get to the main topic. Come on, somebody. So I'm gonna go to the topic, but first, I'm still gonna remind you that, hey, if you have not picked up a copy yet, I have my PDF form. It's my little short stories, 40 pages that I wrote years ago, but it's still very relevant today. It's called The Greatest Pain Ever Felt. My conversation with my absent biological father who never wanted to be found. Because on the day I walked on his doorstep and rang the doorbell, he came out and asked me, hey, what's up? How'd you find me? I said, Google Maps, MapQuest. He said, well, I have to give you an A for effort because I've worked aggressively over the years to prevent you from ever finding me. So if you'd like to get a copy of that short story, it's in PDF form, meaning hit me up with the Cash App for only $10 and $sign Ricotheopinionist or PayPal, Ricotheopinionist or Rico Rivers, however you want to do it, on the PayPal end. And please send me an email address so I can email you your PDF copy of my little short story. And if you like it, or what I'm saying, if you read it, get around to reading it, please let me know your feedback. You'll have my email address. And inside of the short story stuff, I think it even has my phone number in there. But if not, definitely my email address. So check it out when you get a chance. If you're on my YouTube channel, it's in the description box. The information is on this Facebook page. And I'll try to stick to the topic so it won't all of a sudden go into that whole trying to reconnect. And so I'm thankful for a lot of you who are at your 9 to 5s, wherever you are. It should be lunchtime, so that's why I call it, let's have a lunchtime chat. The other one was a morning stroll, and I was actually strolling. It was, morning a little bit. So I'll get right into it. I know I have my shades on, so I can't read your comments right away unless I happen to spot it. But while you're sitting at your desk or at your restaurant, having your lunch, I'll try not to make this so long, all right? But anyway, I don't know if many of you have been checking out the, been on social media this weekend and stuff, and noticing, there's Stephanie, noticing particular videos. There's 3 videos that come to mind. I saw a video on World Star Hip Hop. I saw 2 on Instagram. I'm gonna start with the first one that, that's kind of, I don't know, it's something wrong with people. We all use social media for various reasons, and it is what it is. I'll just say that. However, when you get on social media to threaten people and invite violence to you, or threaten to send, hold on a minute, and you threaten to other people with violence, and just talk just reckless, and then when the repercussions happen after that, that extreme recklessness, because some people say, well, Rico, you talk reckless about, well, I don't think I threaten anybody or just invite people to fight and put out that fighting energy. What I do is I share thoughts and opinions based on observations, sometimes based on experience. And so I had to make sure I put that out there for somebody to say, well, you do that shit. No, I'm just sharing thoughts, and I like talking to you for those who want to listen. So, and again, you can utilize social media however you want to, but this running theme that I've been noticing in the last couple of years, but I guess these last ones are just ridiculous. Let's go to the topic of this conversation. It says, dangerous Instagram posts and the trauma that it can cause, or it causes us, those of us who happen to see these particular lives on Instagram. All right, let me go to the one I saw on WorldStar. Now, this girl was sitting in the front seat of her car. I mean, and it's the most disrespectful crap that you can say. And by the way, for her to use what she was talking about, I like, really? So anyway, I'll get to it. All right. She was sitting in the front seat of her car doing a live on Instagram. And she was telling some young lady whose boyfriend or whatever had passed away. But maybe her and the girl are into it, but she decided to go to Instagram and say, yeah, I effed your N-word. Yeah, I effed him. Me and such, we had sex. I effed your man. We had sex in my mama house, his mama house, your house. Man, we was all over the place. Man, I effed your man. Yeah, B. Yeah, B. I'm like, wow. Let's see, what's this? Oh, and so I was like, really? And so she just kept on just bringing up the deceased guy's name, and she was just really very belligerent. And before you know it, an arm came out of nowhere and damn near snatched her little fat self out that front seat, grabbed her by her head. Next you know, you saw the camera wiggling and shaking. And then I guess afterwards, you know, we noticed that she's pulling off and driving off real fast. Then I guess she got to a safe place where the arm was no longer in the front seat, grabbing her by her body, trying to snatch her soul out of her damn skin. And so we're like, well, damn, they must have been watching her on the live. Because that body was, man, it was some struggling going on. She like, they were trying to snatch her ass up out of there. I'm like, lady, please, what are you doing? Tino. These folks, I'm telling you. Yeah, she pulled off, and and then she was like looking crazy, like, yeah. Let me tell y'all something. That's why I always keep my car in drive. So you sitting there doing an ugly live, threatening people, saying ugly things about people's dead loved ones, regardless if you're into it with the girlfriend. You want to share that news, probably during the time the young woman is still grieving over the passing of her man. And then you're sitting there with your foot on drive, not in park, but you talking trash. So you lucky you had in drive, because she's about to drive your little fat behind up out of that car. So she's looking stunned and dazed and amazed that somebody just came up like that. And man, I had to beat the brakes off the little disrespectful mouthy heifer. And you know, that kind of stuff. Let me go to the second thing I saw on Facebook. And now all of us probably seen this one. The little slender, skinny, dark-skinned black girl. And being skinny, slender, or dark-skinned are not minuses. They're not attacks on her. Oh shit, let me get my ass up the street. I'm talking about folks on live. I'm walking slow across this damn street. Y'all would have seen my phone go up in the air and then come down on somebody's hood. Let me get my ass across the street. So anyway, be careful, people. So this little skinny chick sitting in her front seat, she's obviously has been pulled over by the police. And she said, yeah, ma'am, you have warrants and this, that, and the other. We're looking for you. And she gonna say calmly, child, I ain't got no warrants. Bzzz, let the window up. He said, let the window down. And I think she had a handful of bills or something that she was looking at. Or maybe she was looking for her little ID. I don't know what was going on, but she was not paying any attention to the cop. Next thing you know, she's like, child, I ain't got no bills. Bzzz, let the window up. And then next thing you know, crash. She attempted to put the car in drive and pull off. And next thing you know, boom, you see the explosion. He done bust the window, and she laid down and like, that wasn't even necessary. But boom, then they snatched her ass out of there. But here's the part that I saw. With all that crash and bucking of the window and snatching her little frail ass out of there, did y'all notice that her facial expression barely changed? See, as a mental health guy, I pay attention to all of that stuff. Her facial expression barely changed. Let you know it's something's not alive in that young woman, or her ass is kind of off. And that's a young woman that a lot of men are probably, quite a few men are dating females like this, just hard, almost damn near non-human kind of chicks. And that would have scared the entire crap out of me. as a person who has blood pumping through his veins. I'm telling you, man, you better watch out. You don't know who these people are. And I'm sure somewhere she's gonna be playing victim, and she was not a victim at all. And so people, and then of course you read the comments, they ain't have to do all of that. That wasn't even necessary. I'm like, damn, do black women are they ever guilty of anything? They ain't have to do all that. We stand here watching, lady said, child, I ain't got no warrants. Bzzz, let the window up and proceeded to crank her car up, and we saw her put it in drive. You know, look, we all can have whatever attitudes we want about the cops. But in a case when we know we're wrong, how you still acting a fool? See, I believe in fairness all around. Ma'am, anyway, so that's one of the things that have me tripping. And so, that thing right there. Okay, the third thing, and I want everybody to sit down. I want everybody to pause. Let me get past this noise right here. Like I'm walking past the construction zone. All right, y'all ready for this part here? The third one I saw, and it kind of shook me, because I had never seen anything like that. That's this damn social media and these cameras on these phones, and you get it up close and personal. And one thing about social media, it has no editing, it has no filter. It shows you as it happens. If the camera is straight and doesn't move, you get to see everything. And so this is a young brother who's in California. Y'all probably seen it all over. He's sitting there in the front seat doing an Instagram live with his friend. And with a guy, just talking to a guy, I guess it's his friend. But the guy's talking to him, yeah man, you know what's up. And I guess when you look at the videos and find out about this story, his name was Indian Red Boy or something like that. Young guy, 21 years old. But prior to that, the day before, he had done a video throwing up, you know, how a lot of these young black boys and black men love to throw up gang signs. And he is, I guess he's identified as a blood. I'm looking at reports, what people are saying. He's identified as a blood, and I guess he was in non-blood territory, throwing up gang signs. You know, they know all that. I said, man, you know, a wonderful trade that could be for a lot of these young men, or a punishment as an alternative to jail, is forcing them to go to school to learn sign language or perfect their sign language. Because they can do things with their fingers when they're communicating ugly gang language to other black men. I mean, their fingers can bend in ways you didn't think their fingers could bend. They can make all kinds of letters. I said, how come we're not redirecting that kind of negativity into something that can actually help some people? You know how many young black men could be, those can be on the news when they can do sign language at the Olympics, sign language in court, sign language at what else, court proceedings, and at debates. There could really be a lot of employed black men as signs or as deaf interpreters for the deaf, because they can really mangle their fingers in ways that I didn't think your finger could bend, especially when they get mad. They throw more hand signs up than an angry deaf person. I mean, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'm just saying they can really work their fingers. And so might as well put it to good use. And also it was stated that he is the friend of a guy reportedly, allegedly, disrespected the mural of Nipsey Hussle. And so I guess, if we all were to surmise that, I guess since they couldn't get the friend, they got to him. And man, in that video, it is terrible. He's talking to his friend on the phone. The phone said, yeah man, you strapped? You got that strap? And the boy said, the young 21-year-old said no. And as soon as he said no, shots rang out. Pop, 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 pop. He like, right there. We actually saw this young fella get shot in the head and saw the blood come out of his nose. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Whew. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. You know, and I had to process that. I mean, I literally saw a young fella. I guess I've seen other videos like that, but I've literally just watched a young man's life just snuffed out of him. You know, we just had the TikTok guy the young man, 19 years old, on TikTok getting murdered. Situation, Wendy Williams did a flubbed up job with that, and they dragging her ass all across the internet. She needs it, because it was a disrespectful way when she handled that. But back to this, because and I warn people, don't watch it more than one time, because all you're doing, all it does is, when you watch it, it stirs up trauma, and also it begins the process of numbing you against people's humanity. See, that's that same numbness that black kids or any kid that's growing up in the ghetto, that's a numbness. You ever notice when you hear gunshots, little kids don't stop playing basketball or stop playing what they're doing. They say, oh, somebody's shooting, and they don't run and scream and stuff. That's almost like some kind of Vietnam PTSD. A lot of black kids in the ghettos, it don't even bother them. But those of us who don't live there anymore, or who wouldn't like that shit, we hear gunshot and we get the ducking and like, whoa, what the hell's going on? You know, you don't ever want to get used to drama and trauma. See, that robs you of your humanity. And when I saw that, I watched it, of course in disbelief. Then I saw it again. I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow. I mean, we just watched. It took me back to the trauma that I experienced back in March of 1989. March 1989. It was during the week of Mardi Gras at Grambling State University in Louisiana. Mardi Gras, the school shut down. It's like a 3 days, I think everybody leave like on that Tuesday, come back that Monday. So we had the rest of the week, nothing, just us. And so some student had a copy of then very popular snuff DVDs, VCR, VHS. It's called Faces of Death. And I sat there with I didn't know everybody in there. We all had in common, like, well, shoot, we all here, so we just being cool. Y'all know how it is. You went to Grambling, you know what I'm talking about. You know, we was in Pinchback lobby where I lived in the spring of '89, and we were watching that movie, and it was showing how people getting their brains blown out, and how people were falling out buildings and their brains were splattered on the concrete, and how the police rushed in and shot this dude up. I mean, all that stuff. And I never watched that video since 1989 or anything like that. Me watching it, witnessing that young man being murdered like that, it triggered that trauma that I experienced from watching that old movie, you know, Faces of the VHS, Faces of Death, and the many times how people died or how they got killed. It did something to me, and even as we speak, it bothers me to see that because of the politics of, you know, of black males. You know, and I'm gonna keep going there about black men, the importance of having black boys around, the importance of them having dads and people there to protection. Because if you don't have any men in the community, who's gonna protect the community? If you don't have, you know, women who want to be mothers, who's gonna educate the children? And so we got all this stuff going on, and these black boys, you know, it's almost like they've been convinced that, shit, if I make it 18, man, you know, and that has to stop. It has to stop. You know, we can yell white supremacy all day long and continue to yell it because it's true. We can yell systematic racism. We can yell it because it's true. However, one thing we don't yell enough and actually put into practice is self-determination, self-actualization, self-protection. We don't yell that enough in our black race. Because we can still, we survived this long, we can actually survive a little better if we practice self-protection, self-realization, self-actualization, self-determination. We can. And we have to place value on black boys. But we let white feminists in this white racist system fool black women like they're the important ones that need to survive. No, you can't survive without your male counterpart. White men aren't scooping up black women, 30 women every 30 minutes. Matter of fact, you know, yeah, they'll have sex with you 30 women every 30 minutes, but they're not scooping you up, protecting you. They have their own women to protect. And white men believe in protecting white males, but we don't believe in protecting black males. We're so messed up and screwed up And we around here thinking we got black men thinking that women are more important than them, and that's not true. The women aren't as important as the men. You can't have a society without protector, provider, hunter-gatherer. I'm not saying women aren't important, but you're not as important as the men as it relates to who needs to be out front and the guardian of the gate. But we done let Gloria Steinem, we done let Lyndon Baines Johnson, we let all these white liberal Democrats, sisters have fallen for that. Now they sitting around looking like Stacey Abrams on ugly ass. Don't want no man, don't no man want you. And got this Taraji P. Henson from Empire attitude. You know, don't no real man want no angry, big mouth, clowning ass female unless he's mentally dead. Strong men, real men, don't like fussy broads, don't like boss bitches. And so you're like, Rico, how does all that turn into that man being murdered? See, this has to be a cycle. How that young guy think it was all right for him to even join the gang? What led up to that? So that means our sociology majors need to stand up more. Well, what made him think that there weren't any repercussions to that behavior? That's why our psychology majors need to come to the forefront. Every time we look around, we're trying to see, well, what's black girl magic, black girl rock? Well, y'all can have that. Continue to do it. So where's the female psychologists and sociologists who won't be honest and say, ladies, we've been made a fool of. We've been made a fool of. While we around here celebrating girls all damn day, talking about black men are oppressing them, our race is dying because the men are dying. Systematically, psychologically, they're being messed with every day. Now you got the LGBT going in on, horning in their part in destroying black boys and the masculinity of boys. That young man he could have been something great, but see, a lot of times it's just done for. And I see a lot of girl fight videos, but even with the girl fight videos, there's still some protection because the police don't even arrest them. But these young men in their search for manhood and masculinity, they join these weird ass organizations and thinking that's manhood. They carry out this behavior, these weird ass beliefs about manhood because they weren't raised around real men. They weren't raised about. They were raised about men who said, well, got to make sure you protect the black woman. Got to make sure she's straight. That's not how that works. Because women of other groups make sure that they have a man because they're smart enough that their femininity is what makes them great. And if they know if they exude their femininity, everyone else everything else just falls into place. But no, we didn't train we got old Negroes in my age group. Well, man, a real man don't argue with a woman. A man ain't supposed to do that and blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, y'all what you doing is killing dudes quicker than a damn gang. Yeah. But I don't know what I'm talking about. Rico, you ain't never been married. You ain't got no kids. There's a reason for that shit too. Now I've already said, I missed out. I was distracted, trying to be an activist in the community, and I ain't mad about it. Trying to, say the thing that other people won't say. Well, there's consequence to that too. But when you speak up and speak out, people run out and run off. And then, of course, my drinking didn't help either during the 90s and early 2000s. So, it is what it is. I accept that. So, me understanding how that works, I'm always trying to encourage young men, and young women, particularly young men, don't get caught up in that Afrocentric crap. I'm sorry. The African-centeredness so much that it leaves you inactive. See, we have to recognize we live under capitalism. And people can have all these wonderful so-called conscious concepts about, capitalist this, capitalist that, but goddamn it, if you don't want to live in a capitalist society, go move to a non-capitalist society and live your life. But if you're going to be here, you got to have some money. And if you're going to be here and talking about our race and our community need to build, well, we need to have some infrastructure. And the conscious community, all they do is talk about it, but they rarely institute anything. Yeah, I said it. A lot of them are suffering with mental illness. And so, and all this that I'm saying, it came from those videos and this behavior on Instagram. What makes them such narcissists or such emotionally neglected folks that they would, go on and try to get that kind of attention? Because, when we sign on, we're all seeking some attention. I am seeking your feedback. Yeah, I'm trying to spread the word. And they're trying, and then him making a video, that young man making a video throwing a bunch of gang signs, and I guess it was a opposite gang territory, you know, choices and consequences. It's a mess. And I hate to see so many young men going out like that. I just hate it. It bothers me. And we don't have enough programs or enough physical intervention. Now we can get on YouTube and we can get on Instagram. We can make all these wonderful speeches at these paid events that we're paid to speak. Yeah, that's cool. It keeps you in the suburbs and out of the fray. I get it. It keeps your book selling and all that. And I'm not knocking any of that because capitalism, you need some money. Hell, to pay your rent, pay your mortgage, to go to your Caribbean getaway, hell, to go out on a date. Unless she's of the mindset, it's all right. He's handsome enough, he don't need no money. There's a lot of cats who making it through that, making it that way. And I don't knock the hustle, because it is what it is. But the question becomes, how do we prevent more young men, 21 years old, 18 years old, 19 years old, from almost like offering themselves on Instagram, offering up their lives on Instagram? Cut it out. It'll be, now I can stand them, they doing the little dances and stuff. How come you can't do your little dance, man, and don't be offensive to other people? You know, just do your little dance. And some of them do a little dance, I'm like, dang, bro, we could dance like that. How's a Beyonce move in a guy's dance move? These dudes would be tripping, especially on that damn TikTok. These dudes, boy, they need fathers. They dancing more and more like girls. Yeah. I mean, hell, dancing better than girls. They throwing their hips and wiggling their butts more than the women do. And you got some that's literally twerking. And some of the guys can do the up and it's up dance better than the women in Cardi B's video. I'm like, what the hell? What's going on? See, that's the stuff I think. And all these black women standing up and talking about some black girls rocks. You're joining forces with these white women and talking about these women's movements. Y'all need to have y'all ass at home with your kids. Where you cheering at, sisters? Y'all, yeah, you're getting all degrees, but here, all you snuggling up with is with your law degree. Yeah, you're getting away plenty, cooch. Well, we ain't gonna say we ain't gonna stop screwing you, but we don't want your non-feminine argumentative ass. You go on with your degree. We don't care. You know, where the sweet women at? Well, Rico, what you say, she can't be a registered nurse and be sweet? Well, a lot of cases, no. Because from what I've been told, even by nurses, they only like the men who are broken. They don't like men who are put together. I guess that Florence Nightingale, I got to rescue him, save him. And then as she's an attorney, all she want to do is sit around and debate and argue. And if she's a psychologist, well, why the hell you want to... Is she really digging you, or is she just trying to read your mind all the goddamn time? So, whew, well, we talked about June Cleaver waking up in a prom dress and pearls doing the dishes. But it seemed like the household was running all right to me. So, might need to, and we're talking about grandmama and granddad stayed together for 45, 50 years and produced all the children and grandchildren and stuff. I wouldn't dare bring them plates. I wouldn't dare. And first thing they want to do is talk about, well, you know, he had another family on the other end of the family. But guess what? Who didn't know about this? Sorry, y'all. I thought I saw a bug in my... Let me see. What's going on here? There it is. I know I wasn't tripping. And so, no, but you understood. It's not about him having his cake and eating it too. Hell, these men just did their thing. So, let's see. Come on. Mary Max, what's up? It says, what about Black Lives Matter lingo when it comes to against each other? Yeah, then don't even, thank you, Mary Max. Man, Black lesbians matter, what a joke. That almost damn near nailed the coffin into relationships of black men and black women. Cause first, and look, I'm guilty of it as well. I said, yeah, I like that slogan, Black Lives do matter. But then when you get out of the emotionalism of it and start actually doing the research on who is this organization? Where did it come from? How did it get so nationwide and worldwide? Where did they get their funding from to get this popular? Because we don't know no organizations that's been black that are able to get across the world like that so quickly. And they're allowed in all the spaces. I knew it was a problem when Bernie Sanders, shout out to Bernie Mac. When Bernie Sanders was running, and then these girls, these black chicks, with signs saying, was yelling and all this, and we will be heard, we'll be heard, our voices will be heard. And he was up there during the campaign stop, and I think he had 1 or 2 guys with him, but mainly the black girls, young black women, college age. Now, they got up there, walked on the stage. Bernie Sanders just moved back and let them have the mic. Now stop right there. I said, wait a minute. With all that security up there, y'all let these females with these signs who are just taunting him, why can't we be heard? Why is our speech being suppressed? Your speech is not being suppressed, heifer. That's not your press conference. And so, or your rally. But they were able to get up there, and he moved out of the way and let them say what they're going to say, even to the point of being offensive to him. I said, okay, this is something else. Because had it been 5 black dudes, masculine black men saying blah, 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 you know how many cops had been down there to grab them? And so when I hear women talking about them being so oppressed and black girls' bodies being policed and all this foolishness, you know, get out of here. Yeah, y'all giving them more free pass like the Negro preachers giving a free pass on the slave plantation. Y'all get to run around here and do whatever y'all do and say whatever y'all want to do, as long as y'all continue to do the bidding of the modern day plantation owner. But once you start standing up, let me tell you something. Once you become a black woman that stands up for black boys, black girls, and the black family, you get treated like Sister Shahrazad Ali. And you start checking other black women's behaviors, you can start getting treated like sisters, like Sister or Doctor. I'm trying, damn, my name is Dr. What's her name? Dang. I'm gonna get to it. She wrote, see how stuff this, I say her name so much, hell, now and I need to say it again. She wrote the ISIS, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. You know, sisters like that, Dr. Cynthia McKinney. You know, you start speaking out politically against stuff that offends the establishment. So I challenge all these powerful sisters, Tamika Mallory's and all these folks, and these Jamel Hills and all these folks, these sisters, Ava DuVernay's and Oprah's. I challenge you to start speaking about the importance of black boys and black men and the racism of, the purposeful racism of keeping the black family apart. I challenge you, I dare you. Let's see how many Cadillac commercials you get then. That's what I'm saying. See, we're not starting these huge corporate-funded platforms that they give the women and the beta male simps like a Mark Lamont Hill and half-ass trans LGBT brothers like him. You know, did y'all know that Mark Lamont Hill said on the Candace Owens show that he believes that trans dudes, you know, dudes that wear wigs, get monthly periods? Yeah, he said it, and so. You know, Candace Owens, you can say whatever you want to say about it, but she checks the shit out of feminism. Have the white women shut down and we'll have the sisters shut down. But they won't have a real conversation with her about that. Because she shoots it all down, knowing she said, as a woman, it's bullshit. But she said, all the stuff that women brag about, she said, no, we're most educated, we're most enrolled, we have more than corporate jobs. She said, so where in all of that are you oppressed? And there's a video of Candace Owens is shutting down the feminists. We can say that about it. Like I said, I don't agree with a lot of stuff she said, but when she's telling the truth, I'm there. And I'm with her on that. When she get into her ultra uber conservative foolishness, I'm like, okay, you can go ahead on now. And that's how it is. Because you don't take anybody at 100%. But you can, like people say, you can you know, take in the meat and spit out the bones kind of deal. That's how this works. You know, yeah, she's good for some things, and for if I would have a women's luncheon, I'd invite Candace Owens. The Candace to get in there and put these little so-called liberal black chicks and feminist black chicks in check. Now I try to get Sister Cynthia McKinney there. All these black women that so-called Black Girls Rocks and Black Girl Magic, those are the black women, and certainly Sister Shahrazad Ali. These are the black women that these black women reject because they don't follow the democratic narrative of destroying the black family and only uplifting black women and black girls. That's not how it rolls. That's not how it works. And so When sisters actually become sisters, then and talk about what's really important, like white women, when they're at their school board meetings, my husband and my children. That's what they talk about, family. But you don't hear black women when they go to these Million Black Woman March or these Women's March or none of this. They don't ever talk about family. All they talking about, black women have always been suppressed. Black women. It's always the black women who's done this. It's always a black woman. I'm like, bitch, okay. Really, I'm over it. And because the statistics and the data does not support any of that crap. Does it happen? Of course. But if we're going to truly be honest about this thing, those two black girls that was acting a fool on Instagram, that young black male that literally just like, and they offered himself, oh, well, I'm going to say that, you know, was on there and he was shot 16 times. You know, they come from product of you so-called boss bitches. You know, not paying attention, not raising your family and giving them the good morals and values. You know, or as Kwame Brown would say these days, sprinkle in some of you be the mama's cooking, seasoning your children. So be it to try to be political. So be it to try to be a boss and trying to be bad bitches and all this foolishness and have the nerve to reproduce children under that tyranny, emotional tyranny. Stupid. You wonder why these kids are acting a fool. What about the fathers? What do you mean? The women are responsible for choosing the men who would impregnate them. Hell, I know in all of my years of having sex, I've never had sex without a woman's permission. It's very clear that she chose me, and I accept it. And that's how luckily, I never got any of those people pregnant, and won't. Cause you know, it's just weird how we don't see how the natural order things really are. You know, and all this is up for debate. I'm just saying what it is, and I'm never, ever, ever coming from a place of perfection. I'm always coming from a place of practice, because I'm always practicing to do better. Always. But we're going to have to stop playing these games. And black women, cut it out. Y'all are everywhere. Everywhere. In all kinds of spaces. But one space y'all are not at is in home with your children and a husband. That's where you're not. And that should be the statistics y'all should be working on. Okay, I've become a congresswoman, I've become a mayor, I've become police chief, I've done everything, got in all the men's spaces that I fought to get into, and it really hadn't garnered me anything that's really valuable in the sight of God and under the guise of the natural order things. I haven't really garnered anything in that department. So how about, let's get back to y'all, how about y'all get back home? And I know, close your ears, ladies, get back to the kitchen. Hell, get back to the living room. Get back to the area where your children are studying and doing their homework. Get back to that. That's why our race is crumbling apart. You know, racism is going to be what it is until y'all get some missiles and tanks and all this other stuff to literally bomb the system. But until then, it's a lot of things we can do as relates to protecting ourselves, building a fence. Y'all remember my concept? I was telling y'all on my old lives that we need to learn how to build a fence around our race. What is stuff like that? Taking care of your own, economically, spiritually, educationally, taking care of your own. And it's like every time I say that, it goes on deaf ears. It's the weirdest thing. So people ask, Rico, you don't think there's some people? Sure, there's some people in the small pockets trying to make it happen. But see, how come we don't behave as a group like other groups do? You know, we don't have to be in this old ragly-ass public school system. I don't care if your kids in a suburb, they're still being trained to be some weirdo shit. And one thing I say about Caucasians, they get together. If they don't want their critical race theory, they're going across the country shooting that shit down. So why aren't we organized to say, we don't want these old poorly funded ass schools in our neighborhood? We're not doing it. We won't do it unless we're able to get on CNN or MSNBC and they let you talk about it. We don't talk about it in a way in which it should be discussed, the high incarceration rate of young black boys and men. How come we don't talk about it in that regard like it is an issue? And I'm talking about to the people who actually have, yes, Norman, in the kitchen. Hell, these folks, they can't cook no more. What's up, Norman? How you doing, man? Yeah, why, they need to have your ass in the kitchen. They need some of mama's cooking, Norman. These microwave mamas today, they're not feeding with their love like your mother and my mother did. They fed us from the pots. They fed us from them cast iron skillets. And these mamas feeding these children through the microwave and TV dinners in the oven, TV dinners. Yeah, you actually have your sister today, does she have a recipe book? She's like, what? No, I don't recycle. Not hardly. I don't do that much recycling. I said a recipe book, helper. So, so what I'm saying, you know, we have to get back to the basics. And we're kind of missing out. And if we don't learn to build that fence, we'll continue to, all the numbers will show that we're like kind of lagging behind. And it has to be done. So what's the solution? Where's it going to start? I don't know. I'll kick it off. Possibly. What's up? And so, but we're going to have to get it started. I mean, it's 2021. We're going to wait till 2051. A lot of us won't be here who's talking today. So why not get it started today? You know, a lot of nonprofits that can be created, or the ones that we have, they're actually pretty good. Once we find out who they are, and we all descend upon them and make them bigger, the ones that's actually helping the family grow. Because it's almost like we have to start from scratch. And again, I don't know what what problem we have with the hood, in a sense that, meaning, like it's just a forbidden place for us to go once we get a good job and able to move out. But you saw how it was for you. How come those of us who was able to move out and do well, how come we don't go back and get those people, or get involved in the politics of the hood and say, hey, bring us that $150 million grant that you do for other neighborhoods that don't really need it, and let's put some money into the people. Let's put some education, real education, to the people there. Because yeah, a lot of people can't move, a lot of people don't want to move. Yeah, the hood is always closest to downtown or a beautiful body of water. But it's interesting, when other groups of people take over the ghetto, all of a sudden, there's this beauty, I'm finna run, y'all. There's this beauty that is seen. So, well, damn, where they get the money from to create all this beauty? They're using your tax dollars. And then, and racially speaking, the ghetto is where all our people are. The majority of our people are in the ghetto. And I don't know why we're not descending upon it every weekend, if not during the week, setting up programs to clean it up and to serve, and give higher self-esteem to our people there. What is wrong with us? Because some of us has done extremely well in life. Some of us are all on TV. Some of us have gotten successes in many areas. Some of us are great economists. Some of us are great construction workers, contractors. We do all this stuff, and we only seem to use that either not just for ourselves as individuals, but we use it for a white company. We don't. It's the weirdest thing. So that's why when people get to talking about, God gonna make it happen. No, you've been equipped with all the needs and all the equipment that is necessary for you to be successful on this place we refer to as Earth. You have it. But I know there's been a process of reprogramming, but we have the intelligence today to impact that misinformation, that misguidedness that's taking place in this country, and particularly those who end up in the ghetto and still there. It's the weirdest thing. You're not supposed to move away and stay away. You're supposed to, okay, I'm in a safe place where I can go home and lay down, but my people back there are still messed up. So whatever talent I have, let me go and take it back. And the issue that we have in the ghetto is economics. People say you end poverty. No, you end poverty by improving the economics, in so many words, and that's true. And also options, because hood is also a mental thing. Because as one who grew up in the hood, or I grew up in a neighborhood, and then when crack came around in the 80s, I grew up in a community, in a neighborhood. But in 82, 83, when crack came, when I was in junior high school, that's when the crack brought it down to a hood. and all the dope selling and the foolishness. Yeah. So, Norman said, I feel you because my wife can burn, my brother. And there you go, Norman. Thank you for testifying, brother. Thank you. So, I think we can do a whole lot better. And hopefully after this pandemic, we'll understand how important it is for us to get back to us and to give to us. And it's nothing against anybody else. I know we've made other relationships and other contracts with other groups. Some of us is married outside the race, fine. A lot of us live next door. Sometimes we're the only black folks in the school system, only black folks in the neighborhood. That's your way of surviving under white supremacy. I get it. Yeah, maybe if I marry into them, it won't be so hard on me. But you forget, your kids might be mixed, but you still look like Don Cheadle or Whoopi Goldberg, Negro. So you still gonna catch it. Yeah. So we try to figure out all kinds of strategies to try to survive under white supremacy, white racism, instead of the one thing that Elijah Muhammad said probably 60, 70 years ago. We've tried everything under the sun to fit in under this system of white supremacy, white racism. We've crawled in, we've kneeled in, we've prayed in, we even slept in, you know, with the marrying of outside of the community. And none of that has worked. We've tried everything except for that is something that's more powerful than, he used the word atomic bomb back in those days, and that is black unity. It's like whenever someone says it, like we get so offended. Oh, you mean you're so educated that the idea of black people coming together for economic and educational purposes, it offends you? What kind of new Negro are you? And no, when one person can do all this, all of us as together, come together, can form a mighty fist and enact a mighty blow. But we won't do this. For some reason, y'all gonna have to tell me why one of these days and stop making it seem like Rico always talking about race. Rico must hate white people. That has never been the case. But based on their history of how they've always interacted with people who are not white, they should be. But if we're gonna be here in the words that they used during the civil rights movement, is called tolerate. If we're going to tolerate each other, that means we have a choice to build our own and be around our own. I mean, everything you think they built, you think is nice, how come you don't think we can build it? You know, these places where, well, you know, people like, what's that basketball player for the Atlanta Hawks? You know, famous black folks get turned away from a nice restaurant. They just so offended and so hurt. We just wanted somewhere, Dominique Dawkins. Yeah, he got turned away from I guess a white-owned restaurant in Atlanta and just hurt his poor feelings. He all on TMZ talking about, like, man, please, you got enough money and got enough NBA friends who are millionaires, y'all could have built y'all a fine restaurant. Y'all have to go to theirs, it's not required. Damn, a lot of stuff we bring on ourselves. You don't have to. You know, am I here to tell you that I go to all black stuff all the time? No, it's impossible. We live in a multicultural environment. I have a problem with that. I'll go where you're smart enough to say, hey, come on in. How you doing, sir? Yes, please bring your money here. Yeah, I'll follow up in there. But if you tell me at the door, I don't want your dollars, you ain't said nothing but a word. Better get my ass on out of there as quick as you said, as quick as you can get the word leave out. I'm not offended, because I'm not naive to racism or white supremacy. I'm not saying that I lived under it or felt it the way our ancestors did, the way people did in the hundreds and the 19th and the 50s and 60s. No, I'm not. I could never have that experience. It's because they went through it that I don't have to. But I'm not gonna act like it isn't still real systematically or either covertly. Yeah, I know the shit. I understand. But I'm not guided by that. But what I do understand is I notice other groups. They get their little hints of it here and there, but one thing about it doesn't bother them. They're like, shit, we got our own restaurant. We got our own neighborhood. We got our own clinics. We ain't got to go up in there. And that's how you're supposed to do. Now, if you want to go somewhere else that's got something that everybody can come in, that's fine. Shit, I go to mixed clubs. I mean, go to party at mixed clubs and shit, mixed bars. I don't have a problem with that. But if I have to go to the door and they say, that's something wrong with your ID. What do you mean? 2021 is it? That's not the year I'm supposed to have on it? 2021, I'm sorry. No, they get the plans, shenanigans. You ain't got to do all that. Look, you ain't got to do all that. Just say, hey, we don't want you in here, brother. And I am out the door. Ain't gonna be no fussing. Ain't gonna be none of that. That's just how I am. And so the people seem to get their hurt who are black like me, or who are black, who seem to get their feelings hurt by white folks are those who are trying to really be around them. And it's always been that. Those who try to be around them are the ones who get their feelings hurt. So, but anyway, y'all be cool. Let me get my ass on here and grab some lunch. I know y'all got a chance to eat y'all's, but I haven't. And my stroll is over, so we'll talk again in the future, all right? Let me take my shades out so I can properly say goodbye to y'all with this sweat. We'll talk again in the future. Thank y'all for chiming in. Maurice, what's up, my man? I've been checking out your cooking show, man. Hey, you're getting better by the video, bro. The stuff is looking good on there. So I'll talk to you later. Y'all be cool. Peace.